This news story and the other 30 stories that Ms. Catella has done on probate court fraud since 2017 are real cases on our fellow neighbors, and these news reports have proven the harm that has been done to so many families over and over again here in Southeast Michigan. While the Licensing and Regulatory Affairs Department typically oversees professionals to protect the general public, these attorneys are using their legal expertise to take advantage of vulnerable people who don't understand the language used in our probate court system. The citizens that have been coming to the legislators and commissioners, as well as the 2019 Elder Abuse Listening Tour, are in the thousands, not just 30. And the lawyers who have been misusing the system for decades to enrich themselves and fund their personal lifestyles must have legal consequences from today's legislators. The probate system and the 1999 EPIC legislation that was enacted to have guardrails to stop lawyers from exploiting family members and loved ones. It was never set up and voted on 2 decades ago to help the Bar Association in the probate and estate section of their legal organization to use their ill-gotten gains to fund their personal expenses and lifestyles. This is not why the 1999 laws were created. The Attorney General staff has already presented to the legislators time and time again the harm of exploitation being done by these legal professionals. We want consequences for this white-collar criminal behavior. As this group of legislators try to fix the guardianship part of this form of judicial corruption in probate court, you must take a look at the conservator aspect of the criminal enterprise too. We have the scripts of the probate predators. They are using their invoicing procedures to ask the probate judge for authority to charge their egregious hourly fees from $100 up to $500 an hour, while also collecting additional hourly rates from $60 to $100 for their staff members to help them also exploit our loved ones. The line items on their invoices reveal each step that these attorneys take to financially exploit the vulnerable families who are on the superhighway of judicial abuse with no exit ramps. We are here representing every single family in Michigan who have been exploited by this predatory practice in probate court.
Thank you for your testimony.
And we want these attorneys to face serious consequences for their predatory actions.
And I know that we have people here who have been wronged by our system. We have people who have had their family members essentially cut out of their lives because of our guardianship system. We've had people lose their homes, their freedoms, all because we have an antiquated system that desperately needs reform.
Emergency guardianship is highly abused right now, and so they took that on and wanted to tighten that up. But instead, in the bill, they've taken off the only check and balance, which is pretty small, which was that you would at least get to know, that you would have a chance to know that somebody was trying to put you under emergency guardianship. And also, I think it's important to know that these guardians that are referred to often as professional, they have no required courses, no continuing credits. They're not registered, they're not certified, so I really don't think they're professional. One of the other problems is because they're don't have to have an education, they don't have continuing credits. My daughter wants to cut hair and do nails. She has to take boards, continuing credits. She's registered. When she gets done at Lara, complaints go there. They can collect them. They can see who the bad actors are, right? That was a foundational part of these bills. These people that their families have been victimized, and they've been victimized, and it's chronic and growing. They have no one to complain to because these people are who? Who do you go to? We have a growing amount of bad actors and thousands
Thank you, Senator Johnson.
So would it do that? I just want to know. I don't want some secretive thing. Someone who's not a professional can determine that you need emergency care and you're not even entitled to know about it. Why would you strip it further when we already know it's weak, it's abused, and it's wrong, and it fails due process for people to even know that somebody's going to come take them away and everything they have? So you already have people being taken from their houses without being told. You're just legalizing, and I think what you're legalizing is kidnapping.
And it doesn't seem to be going away. It doesn't seem to be going away because it's such a profitable thing for criminals that carry a bar card and wear a suit and tie and come into court with the black robe. I saw the worst judge in Oakland County get an award. I was flabbergasted. For Judge of the Year, he has the most victims in Oakland County by the Michigan Guardian Association. Here is the professional guardian list from Oakland County. John Munger, fired from the AG. Jennifer Carney, fired from the AG. Thomas Brendan Frazier, fired from the AG. John Young, fired from the AG. Right now, in 2024, all those people are still operating in Oakland County, stealing from people. This is harming the citizens of Michigan, and I have a recorded message from one of the Oakland County judges that says they are preparing for the baby boomers. They have it all set up. If they don't come to court with dementia, they're going to ensure they are through their doctors.
You're giving these guardians attorneys to kidnap and murder our loved ones. That's what you're saying. You're saying, Mrs. Chang, that it is okay for someone to come in and take your mother out without a court order. And why can't any of you agree to protect our loved ones? You don't want them taking out your loved one out of your house or telling you that they're going to set your mother's or father's stuff out to the side of the road in the trash, and you're not going to get any of it, threaten you to go to jail. They know they can get by with this. It's because of people like you that allow them to.
And so much of this stuff just comes down to empathy. If it hasn't happened to you, I've seen this in Lansing as long as I've been there, that people don't care unless it's happened to them, and it shouldn't have to be. You should be able to look at people and go, it doesn't have to happen to me. If it's wrong, we got to fix it.
Unfortunately, because amendments like the one that Senator Johnson proposed were struck down today, I personally, as a citizen of Michigan, find that very frustrating. We had Rep. Kelly Breen here just 20 minutes ago saying that she would like an amendment. She'd love to put it out on the floor. Senator Runstead also agreed that amendments would be best served in committee. And we even had the amendment today, right? And so I find it frustrating because we have an opportunity for real change. We have an opportunity to do this in front of this committee today. I know, just like you said, you want to get these bills through. There are parts of these bills that provide positive value that can go to these communities, but simply allowing this gaping hole in emergency guardianships to exist for an unknown period of time until this Senate and this legislator comes back into session is unacceptable, right? You wouldn't leave holes in the state law intentionally, right? And I just don't understand why that's the case here. When amendments were offered, the House chair clearly said that she wants to consider amendments, and yet we're not considering them today. So I find that to be quite frustrating.
I sit before you as a victim while also representing my 80-year-old mother, now a ward of the state, who has vocalized, "Fight for me, be my voice," for the past 2 years. Family is always held to a different standard when they're in these roles. Because I continue to fight, press, retain counsel, I have been retaliated against by the courts. Told to schedule visits to see my own mother in my childhood home that I grew up in for 21 years. The guardians, along with my siblings who have yet to be held accountable for their abuse and neglect. Currently, I am in court now, fighting for my mother in proceedings to save her house from being exploited, in which the guardians are trying to set aside the deed.
We list out suitability factors that the judge must consider with regard to appointing a guardian. So we hope that some of those changes will actually help make sure that we address some of your concerns.
I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
I have a bachelor's degree in healthcare administration, an associate's degree in medical assistant, and I still was found unsuitable. Been in management for 28 years. 18 years, employed for 28 years, on my own home, 800 credit score. How much suitable do I need to be my mother's guardian?
I want to apologize to you that we've allowed this, because 26 years ago, we knew this was going on. Governor Granholm, the Auditor General, this one, and the recommendations that I can see that were made in here are, I'm not sure going to help you, because maybe you can tell me in the latest one. It used to say that then the judge would have to put in writing why they made that. And we do have one court system and another one that are in partial shutdowns due to COVID, and people aren't allowed to get on, so no one can see what's happening.
The judge's reasons for appointing are on the record. So we hear that. We'll remind folks that this is not the end of the process. We'll still consider, some of the concerns that folks have raised.
the one thing that was probably the most important thing that should come first is these people have to have some place that they register. My gosh, my daughter has to get a license to polish nails. And we're letting people take over people's lives, and we have no place to complain. Zero, zip, none. And I'm so frustrated that we're coming with the cart before the horse. When you don't certify or have a place people complain, like Laura, it is going backwards. The task force knew. They told people, we have a problem with emergency guardianship. People are being grabbed when they shouldn't.
Senator, you need to wrap up. If you
We've
could just
removed that in this
make-
bill. And in Wayne County is the worst place for that in this state. And now it's happening in other counties. So the Supreme Court, 30 years ago, actually found that 48 of the 83 counties never require a guardian to file an account with the condition of the ward's estate. Where'd the money go? Where was it? And the FBI raided a real estate company because one of the clerk registers that I know, they had anomalies of all these houses being sold for far less than they were and then sold days or weeks later for far more. The FBI took everything out, and guess what? They were doing that. They were
Thank you,
selling
Senator
to the friends and
Johnson.
family, and I want you to know
I
something.
appreciate your passion,
There's no
but we do
law
need to
against
move
it.
on,
I'm
and
not sure
we
you
will
do.
continue. Thank
As
you.
a chairperson, I just want to say, we're not doing this in the right order. We have been working on this for over 30 years.
Senator
and
Johnson,
everybody
we have to
says,
move on.
We'll catch it next time. We'll get it next year. Why do we wait till next year? Why don't
Senator Johnson, we're going to move on. Again, I appreciate your enthusiasm and your passion, but we need to move forward.